Hello everyone, CaddywhumpusGamer here, bringing you another episode of Minecraft Awakening. Today's episode will be on harvesting rubber, making plastic, and then we're going to make fans. We need those for the mob farm in the next episode. Alright, so while you're exploring in the world, you'll find these. These are rubber trees. The wood looks like this, the leaves look like this, or this. They look like this if you're in drier areas like the outback, like this biome here. And then if you were in a normal biome, like say a plains biome like over here, they would be green. You can find these, I believe they're pretty common in swamps, and I think I found them in jungles. I'm not positive about that though. It's been a while since I got them. You're just going to chop them down, harvest some of the saplings. You're going to bring them back to your base. You're going to grow a bunch more. I did a whole thing like this. And then today I was looking through the recipes and I found something and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to do a video on this. One way to get more rubber, I knew you could use these in a sawmill and have a 50% chance of getting raw rubber from them. But I also found out today that if you shear these leaves off, the dry ones, they have to be dry. So if you harvest these, and then we'll use them in a minute. So first let's make the sawmill. So I already made one ahead of time. I messed up the episode, so it's done. But the recipe for it is fairly simple. It's a machine chassis, machine frame basic, redstone reception coil, 2 circular saw blades, and 2 copper gears. So, oh yeah, and 2 aluminum. It's pretty easy to make. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to have a place where you can hook it up to power. I got power here from the other side, so I'm just going to put it here. And you just throw the rubber wood in here. And then you get 5 planks for every rubber wood, and you also have a 50% chance of getting raw rubber. Now, one of the other things that we can do to increase the amount that we get is we can use drying racks. And then let's put a chest here. We're going to get dirt here so that we can climb up on it. Now we're going to take item conduits. And let's see, where's my wrench? Here we go. If you don't know, you can shift and scroll wheel to cycle through what pipes it displays. And you can also right click right here to change whether it's input or output. It's a little bit faster than opening the menu each time. Alright, so we're going to go extract, always active. We're going to put the dried rubber leaves in here. They're going to get put in here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to put, let's see, item conduits, whoops. We're going to put them on the bottom like this. We're going to set this to insert, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a filter in here. And we're going to tell it insert rubber. Now what that'll do is instead of having to filter all 5 of these, it will only pull the item out of here if it has a place to send it. So if we filter rubber here, it won't keep pulling the rubber leaves out. The first time I did it, it kept pulling the rubber leaves out, and then I was going to do filters and all of them, and then I decided, oh, I can just do it in the one here and save a bunch of filters. So we're going to set all these to always active. And the only thing it should ever put in the drying rack, I believe, is something that can get put in there and actually dried, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is just put a filter in here anyway, just to be safe. So if we do this and a dry rubber leaves, the only thing that they are going to be taking out is the dried ones. They'll put them in here, and as soon as they're done, let's see, are we getting close? 55%. Alright, so these, as soon as they turn into rubber, should automatically get pulled out and put into the chest. Now one of the reasons, like I said, we're going to need this is the fact that we need to make fans for the mob farm. Because I want to make a mob farm in the nether that has skeleton spawners in it, because they have a certain percentage chance, a certain percent chance to spawn wither skeletons, and we need the wither skulls to make withers to get nether stars and also to get the Let's see, magic essence, magical. Yeah, right here. I think we get the blue, the Imperio essence, and then we can break that down into yellow, the yellow into orange, the orange into green. Now, in order to start at the bottom with green and go up, you have to have infusion stones, and they can be somewhat annoying and expensive to make. So if we can skip all the way to the blue step, that saves us a lot of work. And then once we get the blue, we can use that to make the extreme infusion stones, and will allow us to make the purple, and then with the purple we can make the master infusion stone, which is infinite durability, and it can infuse all the different colors, because you need this stone for this essence, this stone for this essence, and it can be really annoying, but that's one way to get around it. And like I said, we need nether tripping over my tongue, we need withers to be able to kill them to get this essence, and we also need nether stars so that we can move monster spawners and other stuff like that. Alright, you can see it worked. We now have 5 raw rubber in here. So then what we're going to do is you take the rubber, you find a furnace, you throw it in. Now this is raw rubber. Raw rubber gets turned into rubber bars. I can just throw these in here because I have it so it'll automatically pull out of here and put it into here when it cooks. So as soon as this gets done, we're just going to go ahead and take this out just to save some time. Oops. Throw this in here and then throw that in there. Okay. Now if you cook the rubber bars, you end up getting raw plastic. Now raw plastic, you take 4 of those, put them together, and you get 4 plastic sheets. Now these you need for making fans, because the fan recipe, let's see, I'll just do it out here. The fan recipe can be pretty expensive because you need iron bars, which aren't bad. You need transparent technical blocks, fan fast. That's a tongue twister. Alright, to get those, you just put technical blocks inside of a chisel and you grab the one you want. They're made with 4 iron and 5 stone, and you get 32 of them. So it's not that bad for that block. I just grabbed some out of the dungeon that we spawned. Well, I didn't spawn right next to it, but where I set up my base, it's like right there. Alright, and then the other parts that do take a lot, like the plastic large plate, I think takes 16 plastic sheets. It might take 32. I forget. It's something crazy. I think it's 2 plastic plates equals 1 point, and these take 8 points. So I think it's 16. Then I forget how many these take, and then so you got plastic pan, plastic tough rod, and plastic large plate just to make 1 fan. And we need at least 9 or 10 of these. At least 10, maybe 11. I'm not sure exactly. Depends on the style of farm that I make. So that will take a lot of plastic. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this episode, because I just realized today with doing the dry leaves and stuff, I can just plant these right here in this outback, wait for them all to dry out, just grab them all. And you want to make sure that you do keep some saplings, because you want to be able to plant more trees. So you won't be able to do the dry leaves each time, but you can do it fairly often, because I normally end up with like almost twice as many saplings as I started with. And then with this setup right here, you just throw them all in, and when you come back, later on while you're doing stuff, you'll have more raw rubber. Now it does take 2.5 minutes, I think, to change one of these into a rubber thing, but you figure if you do 5 of them, you're averaging 30 seconds for 1 thing of rubber, which isn't bad at all. Especially since it only takes you just seconds to harvest a bunch of rubber leaves, or dry rubber leaves. And remember, they have to be the dry ones. The green ones I do not believe will work. Now you can, if you want to be cheaty, and I don't like cheaty unless it's something where the mod maker is like, oh yeah, that's an intended mechanic. you can take like the rubber leaves, put them in here, and you can get like any of these leaves. So technically you could harvest the green leaves, put them in a chisel, turn them into dry rubber leaves. You know, if that's how you want to do it. You know, I don't particularly care to do it that way because it just feels too cheaty for me. I don't know why, because later on when I get EMC, I can turn this into EMC and then turn this into EMC and then turn it into this. So I don't know why it feels cheaty. It just kind of does, probably because it's so early game. Later on, I probably wouldn't think twice about doing it. Just because, you know, I've gotten so far. Now you can make rubber seeds. Let's see, rubber. You can make rubber seeds, but you need the Rune of Spring, which means you need an infusion. You need to be able to do infusion crafting. They're not too hard to make. It's a Rune of Water, two, however you pronounce that. These are the orange magical stuff, so it is kind of high priced, I guess. And then 3 living rock, 3 oak saplings, and a spring salad. But you get 3 runes of spring, and you only need 2 to make this, and you're also going to need more orange here. So we could make these after I get infusion and after we get set up to kill withers. But they drop rubber essence, which 9 rubber essence gives you 6 of these. But you remember, if we level the seeds all the way up to 10, we'll get 4 per harvest. So you're looking at, you know, 2 harvests almost gets you 6 raw rubber. I don't know how much we'll need this later on. You can use it like to make torches. You can use it as a fuel source, actually. Let's see, XP extractor, empty syringe, flippers. Let's see. Yeah, you're going to need raw plastic and stuff for other things. You can actually use raw plastic and medasium dust to make gold. Interesting. But there are plenty of things that you can use the rubber for, at least at this stage. And like I said, the fans, I definitely plan on building a lot bigger mob farm later on. And I will need lots of fans for that. So I think I've covered everything in this episode. Hopefully you learned something. Like I said, a drier biome will drive the leaves out so that you can turn those into rubber. Use the sawmill on the logs. And always make sure you keep some saplings, because otherwise you're going to have to go exploring and find some more rubber saplings if you end up losing them all. Okay, I believe that's all for this episode. Oh, by the way, thank you to all of my subscribers, the people who have subscribed. It definitely encourages me to keep doing this. Also, thank you for the people who leave comments. That's it's encouraging too. And I'm definitely learning some stuff from people. They'll be like, oh, did you know this? Did you know that? And I'll be like, oh, no, I didn't know that, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely learning this pack, learning more and more about it. And just, yeah, leave a like, leave a comment. If you like the series, please subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything. Until next time, this is CaddywhumpusGamer signing off.